Step inside an old American home, and you'll find memories hidden in every corner, from milk doors to dumbwaiters, from transom windows to sleeping porches. These weren't just features of a house, they were pieces of daily life, now vanished into history. Today we're counting down 10 old home features you may remember, or wish you had seen. Milk doors. In the 1940s, 50s, and even into the early 60s, almost every home had one little secret built right into the wall: the milk door. A tiny hatch, often on the porch or side of the kitchen, where the milkman would quietly drop off fresh glass bottles every morning. Families woke to the soft clink of bottles as breakfast began. The milk door wasn't just about convenience, it was about trust. You didn't need alarms or cameras. Neighbors looked out for one another, and you could leave food on your porch without fear. For kids, it was a magical slot where treats appeared overnight, and for parents, it was the rhythm of daily life. By the 1970s, as supermarkets took over and delivery routes disappeared, the milk door faded into history. But ask anyone who grew up with one, and they'll tell you, nothing ever tasted fresher than milk pulled straight from that little door. Dumbwaiters. In older houses, especially the big city homes of the early 1900s, a dumbwaiter was more than a pulley and a box. It was the silent helper of the house. With a rope and a crank, food or laundry could glide between floors without a word spoken. Kids treated it like a secret elevator, sneaking toys inside, while parents relied on it to save countless trips up the stairs. But as homes modernized and families grew smaller, the dumbwaiter quietly disappeared, leaving only narrow shafts and old pulleys behind. For those who remember, the soft creak of that rope still feels like the sound of a house with character. Transom windows. Above the doors of old houses, transom windows once opened the way for cool breezes to drift through, even on the hottest summer nights. They were the home's natural air conditioning, letting in light, air, and sometimes even the voices of neighbors passing by. But as central air took over and designs grew simpler, these little windows were sealed shut or removed completely. Today, they're a reminder of a time when even the smallest detail of a house had both beauty and purpose. If you love remembering the forgotten corners of everyday life, hit subscribe, and let's keep these memories alive together. Rotary phones. The heavy click of the dial, the pause as it spun back, and the patience it demanded. Rotary phones were more than devices. They were small rituals of daily life. Every number pressed had weight, and every call felt intentional, as though the very design reminded us that words were worth waiting for. For many families, the phone was anchored to a kitchen wall or hallway table, its cord stretched and tangled as kids tried to sneak private conversations. It wasn't just a tool, it was part of the rhythm of home, a place where gossip, good news, and even heartbreak first landed. Now, replaced by touchscreens and instant messaging, the rotary phone sits mostly in antique shops or dusty attics. Its sound may be gone, but anyone who's ever spun that dial can still hear it echo in their memory, like a forgotten heartbeat of communication. Built-in ironing boards. Tucked neatly behind a wooden cabinet door or folded down from the kitchen wall, built-in ironing boards were a quiet symbol of care. They weren't just about pressing clothes. They were about mothers smoothing school uniforms, fathers preparing crisp shirts for Sunday service, or grandmothers humming softly as steam rose into the air. The board itself often carried marks of time, faint scorch spots, a patch of fabric worn thin where countless sleeves had been pressed flat. It stood ready, always part of the daily rhythm, never needing to be dragged out or put away. Today, most homes use collapsible boards hidden in closets, or they skip ironing altogether. But those built-in boards carried something different. They were stitched into the architecture of the home itself, reminding us that even in the smallest tasks, love and patience were pressed into every fold. Coal chutes. Tucked along the side of many old homes was a small iron door leading straight to the basement, the coal chute. It was through this door that delivery men would pour in the black gold that kept the furnace burning through Pittsburgh winters. You could hear the clatter of coal tumbling down the chute, echoing through the basement, a sound that meant warmth was on its way. Now, most coal chutes are sealed, their purpose long forgotten. but for those who grew up with them, the memory of that clang, that warmth, is etched deep into the heart of home. Radiator heat with drying racks. In many old homes, warmth came from heavy cast-iron radiators that hissed and clanked on winter mornings. Families turned them into more than heaters. Drying racks above held damp socks, snow-soaked mittens, or freshly washed towels, filling the room with a warm, steamy scent. Kids stretched their toes toward the heat, while parents used the racks to make daily chores easier. Simple, practical, and comforting. These radiators quietly stitched themselves into the rhythm of family life. Sleeping porches. Long before central air conditioning, summer nights could feel stifling indoors. That's why many homes had sleeping porches, screened-in extensions where families carried out cots, mattresses, or even just blankets when the heat became too much. These porches turned into open-air bedrooms, alive with the chorus of crickets and the distant hum of cicadas. Children would fall asleep under the soft glow of moonlight, their dreams carried by the night breeze, while parents lingered nearby with a newspaper or a quiet conversation, grateful for the relief from the day's heat. Sometimes, the smell of fresh-cut grass or honeysuckle drifted through the screens, adding to the sense of calm. It was more than just a place to escape the warmth. It was a summer ritual, a chance to slow down, reconnect, and feel the rhythm of nature. For many, those nights on the sleeping porch remain some of the most tender and magical family memories, moments that no modern air-conditioned bedroom can quite recreate. Pocket doors. Pocket doors were once a staple of older homes, elegant sliding doors that disappeared into the walls when opened. They saved space, offered privacy, and added a touch of craftsmanship you rarely see today. Families used them to separate parlors from dining rooms or to close off noisy kitchens when guests arrived. The sound of those wooden doors sliding smoothly along their tracks was almost comforting, a small detail that made a house feel both practical and refined. Today, most have been replaced by plain hinges and drywall, leaving behind only the memory of that quiet, clever design. If you love rediscovering pieces of the past like this, make sure to subscribe so you never miss our next walk through history. The front porch as the living room. Before air conditioning and endless screens pulled us inside, the front porch was the heart of family life. It was where neighbors waved as they passed by, where parents rocked gently in wooden chairs after supper, and where children caught fireflies in jars while laughter drifted into the night. On warm evenings, the porch became an open-air living room, a place to share stories, sip lemonade, and watch the world go by at a slower pace. The creak of the floorboards, the hum of cicadas, and the glow of porch lights gave the whole street a rhythm that felt alive. Today, many porches have vanished or sit empty, replaced by garages and fenced-in yards. But for those who remember, the front porch was never just part of the house. It was the soul of the neighborhood, where community was built one conversation at a time. If these memories stirred something in you, don't forget to subscribe. Together, we'll keep the past alive. These old home features weren't just architecture. They were memories, traditions, and little comforts that made houses feel alive. Some have been lost to time, others replaced by modern convenience, but all of them remind us of how different home once felt. Which of these do you remember or wish you could bring back? Share your favorite in the comments, and let's keep the memory alive.